8 Stoic Ways to Truly Love Yourself. Self-love, not as a feeling, but a way of being. 1. Accept what you can't control. A Stoic approach to self-love. There is a quiet kind of strength in letting go. Not the kind of letting go that means giving up, but the kind that brings peace. The kind that says, I no longer need to carry what isn't mine. We spend so much of our lives trying to hold everything together. We try to fix things. Control people. Predict the future. Force the outcome. We think that if we just try harder, plan better, or care more, maybe we can keep things from falling apart. But the truth is, not everything is within our hands. And that's not failure. It's life. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus wrote, "Some things are up to us, and some things are not." That simple idea holds a deep truth. There are things you cannot control: what people think of you, what already happened, what the world chooses to give or take, what tomorrow will bring. But there are also things you can control: your mindset, your actions, your values, your response to difficulty, your ability to stay calm in the storm. Most of our pain doesn't come from the world itself, it comes from wanting the world to be different than it is. You don't suffer because it rained. You suffer because you expected sunshine. You don't suffer because someone misunderstood you. You suffer because you believed they had to understand. Self-love begins the moment you stop fighting the things you can't control. It begins when you stop blaming yourself for what was never your responsibility. Loving yourself isn't about fixing everything. It's about recognizing what is yours to fix. And what is not. It's okay to release the pressure. It's okay to let the world be what it is. You're not here to control it all. You're here to live wisely within it. You can still choose peace, even if the world around you is noisy. You can still choose how to show up, even when things don't go your way. That choice, your choice, is where your power lives. And that is where real self-love begins. 2. Speak to yourself like a wise friend. A Stoic practice of gentle self-talk. Imagine for a moment that someone you care about deeply is struggling. They feel lost. They've made mistakes. They're overwhelmed by doubt and shame. Now imagine what you would say to them. You wouldn't call them names. You wouldn't say they're a failure. You wouldn't replay their flaws over and over again. No. You would listen. You would breathe with them. You would speak slowly, kindly, and with care. You would remind them of their worth, even in the middle of their mess. Now ask yourself this: why don't you speak to yourself the same way? Most people treat themselves worse than they would treat a stranger. They wake up and criticize their reflection. They carry every past mistake like a burden they're not allowed to set down. They hear their own thoughts and feel like a disappointment. The Stoics knew this pattern well. They practiced inner dialogue, not as punishment, but as a path to peace. They learned to observe their thoughts without judging them. To question them gently, instead of obeying them blindly. You are not your harshest thought. You are not the voice that tells you you're not enough. That voice is a habit, not a truth. And like any habit, it can be unlearned. You don't need to fight yourself to grow. You can guide yourself like a mentor would. You can coach yourself the way a wise friend would, with honesty, but also with compassion. The next time your mind starts spinning with shame or frustration, pause. Ask yourself, would I say this to someone I love? If the answer is no, then why say it to yourself? Growth doesn't need cruelty. Healing doesn't come from pressure. Real strength is not in being hard on yourself, but in being steady with yourself, especially when it's hard. You're still learning. You're still becoming. You're allowed to be gentle. You wouldn't expect someone to bloom by shouting at them. You'd give them space. You'd give them time. You'd give them light. Do the same for yourself. You are not behind. You are not broken. You are simply in the middle of the journey. Speak like someone who believes in you. Speak like someone who knows you're trying. Speak like someone who cares. Because that voice becomes your home. Make it a safe one. 3. Set boundaries with integrity. A Stoic practice of protecting your peace. There's a kind of courage that often goes unnoticed. It's not loud. It doesn't make speeches or seek attention. It simply says, no. No to what drains. No to what distracts. No to what disrespects your time, your values, your energy. That quiet no is one of the highest forms of self-love. The Stoics didn't speak about boundaries the way we do today, but they lived them. They understood the discipline of protecting what truly matters. Loving yourself doesn't always feel soft or gentle. Sometimes it means making hard decisions. It means walking away from what feels familiar, but no longer feeds your spirit. It means choosing silence over noise. Stillness over busyness. Purpose over popularity. The world will always ask more of you. More time. More energy. More attention. But you are not here to say yes to everything. You are here to say yes to what aligns. Yes to what honors your peace. Yes to what strengthens your soul. That means creating limits. That means setting boundaries, not out of anger or fear, but out of clarity. It's not about building walls, it's about knowing your shape. Knowing where you end and where the world begins. Your time is not infinite. Your energy is not bottomless. Your focus is not a resource to be given away freely. You protect what you love. And if you truly love yourself, you learn to protect your life from what slowly wears it down. This isn't selfish. It's wise. It's intentional. It's Stoic. Because real self-respect shows up in your choices. In what you allow. In what you walk away from. In what you guard quietly, even when no one else understands. Say no without guilt. Say yes with your full heart. But above all, say both from a place of integrity. Let your boundaries be rooted in love, not fear. Let them shape the life you're trying to build. Not the one you're trying to escape. You don't owe everyone access to you. You only owe yourself the kind of life you can stand in with pride and peace. 4. Practice voluntary discomfort. A Stoic path to inner strength. There's a quiet power in choosing discomfort. In walking into the cold rather than running from it. In sitting with silence instead of filling it. In facing rejection, not as a threat, but as a teacher. The Stoics understood this. They believed that resilience is not built in comfort. It's built in moments of friction. It's built when we choose to do what is hard, not because we like it, but because we trust what it creates in us. Seneca once said, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." He was right. Most of the fear we feel isn't about the moment we're in. It's about the moment we're avoiding. We imagine the worst. We fear failure. We fear discomfort. We fear not being enough. But when you lean into discomfort, when you practice it, you begin to realize. It doesn't own you. The cold shower won't break you. The awkward silence won't destroy you. The rejection won't erase your worth. Instead, they reveal something, that you're stronger than you think. That your peace isn't so fragile. That your identity doesn't depend on external ease. When you fast for a few hours, when you turn off your phone for a day, when you speak a truth you were afraid to say. You are not punishing yourself. You are training yourself. You are practicing freedom. You're reminding yourself that comfort is not your master, and fear is not your guide. This is not about self-denial. It's about self-respect. It's about showing up for yourself. Not only when it's easy, but especially when it's hard. Loving yourself doesn't always look like self-soothing. Sometimes, it looks like self-strengthening. So step into the discomfort. Gently. Deliberately, like a Stoic in training. Let it sharpen you. Let it humble you. Let it grow you. And when you come out on the other side, calmer, clearer, more alive, you'll know, you didn't just survive the moment. You became someone stronger within it. If this message resonated with you, I'd love to hear your thoughts. What kind of discomfort have you faced recently, and what did it teach you? Share it in the comments below. If this journey into Stoic self-love is helping you, remember to like the video, subscribe for more, and gently tap the bell so you don't miss the next reflection. This space is for you. Let's keep growing together. 5. Reflect daily. A Stoic ritual for self-awareness. Each day, something happens to us. Moments pass. Words are said. Choices are made, some intentional, others automatic. And then the day ends. But how often do we stop to look back? Not with judgment, but with curiosity. Not to punish ourselves, but to understand. The Stoics, especially Marcus Aurelius, believed in reflection. He journaled daily, not to impress others, but to speak truthfully with himself. His journal was a quiet space, where thoughts became clear. And values returned to focus. Self-love is not just about speaking kindly to yourself. It's about knowing yourself. And that begins with reflection. Each evening, take a breath. Put away the noise of the world. And ask yourself a few simple questions. What did I do well today? Where did I show up with honesty, with patience, with courage? Celebrate that. Let it root deeper. Then, gently ask. What could I have done better? Not to criticize, but to learn. Not to shame yourself, but to grow. Did you speak when you should have listened? Did you react when you could have paused? Did you ignore your needs in order to please others? This isn't about perfection. It's about direction. By noticing what worked and what didn't, you begin to steer your life with more intention. You stop drifting. You start returning to your core. Reflection turns your experience into wisdom. It's how pain becomes perspective. It's how noise becomes insight. It's how you begin to truly know who you are. Not in theory, but in the lived reality of your days. This practice is quiet. Simple. But don't mistake it for weakness. It takes strength to be honest with yourself, to face your day with open eyes. To love yourself enough to say, I can do better tomorrow, and I will. The mirror of the Stoic isn't made of glass. It's made of attention. It's made of humility. It's made of the desire to align your life with what truly matters. So tonight, when the world is silent, be still. Be honest. And just begin. One thought at a time. One day at a time. 6. Live according to your values. A Stoic path to inner alignment. There is a kind of peace that cannot be bought. It doesn't come from money or praise. It doesn't depend on trends, applause, or validation. It comes from one quiet thing, living in harmony with your values. The Stoics called it arete, the pursuit of moral excellence. To them, virtue was the highest good. Courage. Wisdom. Justice. Temperance. These weren't abstract ideas. They were the compass that guided every action. You live in a world that constantly tries to shape you. It pulls at you, telling you who to be, what to want, what success should look like. But Stoicism reminds us, you don't have to follow the noise. You don't have to chase what everyone else is chasing. What you need is a personal code. Your own set of values. And the courage to live by them. Especially when it's not easy. Self-love doesn't mean you always feel good. Sometimes it means doing what's right, even when it's hard. It means turning down shortcuts, walking away from dishonesty, and standing firm when your integrity is tested. And when you do that, when your choices reflect who you truly are, you stop needing permission to feel worthy. You stop waiting for likes or compliments. Because deep down, you know. You're living right. This is where confidence is born. Not from pretending to be perfect, but from the quiet knowing, I'm doing my best to live honestly, with purpose, and with care. When you align your actions with your values, you become steady, even when life is chaotic. You stop being a leaf in the wind. You become the root. So take time to ask yourself, what do I truly believe in? What matters most to me? What do I want to stand for, not just in words, but in behavior? Let your answers shape the life you're building. Let them be the silent framework that holds you steady, even when the outside world sways. Because when your life reflects your values, you don't just feel better. You feel whole. 7. Embrace failure as a teacher. A Stoic way to grow with grace. Failure. The word itself can feel heavy, like a weight tied to the chest. But what if it didn't have to? What if failure was never meant to shame us, but to shape us? The Stoics never promised perfection. They never claimed to get it right every time. Even the wisest, like Marcus Aurelius, wrote pages of reflection about his own shortcomings. Because they understood something essential, failure isn't the opposite of self-love. It's part of it. Each mistake we make, each misstep, each wrong word, each broken plan, is feedback. It's a mirror, not a sentence. It shows us what we still need to learn. But most of us were taught to fear it. We were told that to fail meant to fall behind, to be less, to disappoint. So we learned to hide our errors. We learned to criticize ourselves before anyone else could. But Stoicism offers a better way. Instead of saying, I failed, so I'm not good enough, say, I failed, and now I understand better. Instead of thinking, this proves I'm broken, consider, this shows me where to grow. You are not your mistakes. You are what you do after them. Do you freeze, blame, collapse? Or do you reflect, adapt, and return stronger? Self-love means holding space for imperfection. It means being honest about your flaws, without letting them define you. It means asking, not, why did I mess up? But, what is this here to teach me? Progress, in the Stoic sense, isn't about never falling. It's about getting up, each time. With more clarity, more humility, and more resolve than before. If you failed recently, good. It means you tried. It means you showed up. It means you are alive and learning. So don't run from your failures, don't bury them. Face them with courage. Let them speak. Let them guide. And then, begin again. Not as someone who failed, but as someone who grew. That is the path of wisdom. And that is self-love in motion. 8. Practice gratitude for your own existence. A Stoic reflection on the gift of being. You are here. Right now. Breathing. Thinking. Feeling. Learning. Before the worries, before the plans, before the comparisons. There is this simple fact, you exist. And that alone is extraordinary. The Stoics understood how fleeting and precious life is. They didn't take it for granted. Each morning, Marcus Aurelius reminded himself that he could die. Not to cause fear, but to deepen appreciation. To awaken awe. Because every moment is a gift, not a guarantee. Think of your breath, that quiet rhythm rising and falling. Without needing to be earned. Each inhale is permission to begin again. Each exhale is proof that you are still here. Still capable of reflection, of movement, of love. Think of your thoughts. They may not always be kind or calm, but they are signs of a living, searching mind. A mind that wonders, that questions, that tries. That is something to be grateful for. Now, think of your resilience. The times you wanted to give up, but didn't. The mornings you faced the world even with a heavy heart. The pain you've endured. The kindness you've offered. The courage it took to continue. You have survived every moment of doubt, every failure, every dark hour. And still, here you are. Whole. Worthy. Becoming. Self-love, to the Stoics, was not a performance. It wasn't about feeling superior. It wasn't about pride. It was about reverence. A quiet, grounded respect for the miracle of being alive. You are not broken because you struggle. You are not unworthy because you stumble. You are human. And in the eyes of a Stoic, that alone is reason for deep, enduring gratitude. So today, pause. Not to judge yourself, but to appreciate yourself, this breath, this effort, this heart that beats despite everything. You are still here. And that is more than enough. Which of these 8 Stoic practices are you working on right now? Leave a comment below, your journey might help someone else. And if this video brought you a moment of calm or clarity, like it and subscribe for more Stoic reflections. Your growth starts with your mindset.